All right, let's see how this works. Let's see if this is fucking doable, huh? Let's give this the old college try.
One of my exes.
You know? How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? I should probably move that aside. Hold on one segundo. Oh, we should probably share this on Twitter also. Share this on Twitter, because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've streamed. All right. There we go. Are we set? I can't tell. There we go. I actually think the text chat should be invisible for now. What the fuck is that? It seems like your sound alerts browser source is offline. Make sure you've implemented the source correctly on OBS. I'll figure that shit out later. Whatever. Big fucking deal. Big whoop. You know? As long as I'm coming through. Am I coming through? Big fucking deal. Big whoop. You know? As long as I'm coming through. Am I coming through? Big fucking deal. Yeah, I am coming through. Just playing some Destroy All Humans 2 right now. Hell yeah. I'm broadcasting from... Convince me to give you money on Patreon, you thick bitch. Let's all just calm down. Let's all just chill. All right? What is up with the fucking color? Am I crazy, or is the color like really fucking washed out? What's going on? What is going on here? Let me go on Twitch. How's the new place? It's looking pretty good. Slowly, I got my office kind of mostly set up. Well, functionality-wise. Let me see. Why is the image so fucking... Check my HDR settings? What the fuck? It doesn't look washed out in like on my monitor. It just looks washed out in game, or like on OBS or on Twitch. That is fucking baffling. What? What is happening? Yo, why is that occurring? Looks fine on my end? What? Am I crazy? This looks fine to you guys? Am I losing my mind? I swear to God, this looks so washed out. Like, to the point where it's annoying. But there's no option. Why is there no option? What? That didn't do fucking anything. What is happening? Why does it look so strange? I just I don't understand how it looks so different to OBS. That is one of the most confusing game capture properties, maybe? What the fuck are you doing, bro? Oh my god. Okay, so that's what it was. Okay, so that was weird. It was just on a different color setting. That was fucking weird. So that was OBS. Sorry. It just looked so noticeably worse that I couldn't, like, I'm sure you guys noticed now. Like, holy fuck. That was like bothering me so intensely that I could not continue with the stream if that was how it was going to look. All right. So, I mean, what do we want to do? First of all, what do we even want to fucking get into today? Because I am genuinely astonished. Did you see Snapple replied to my tweet under your video? They definitely had to see it. Wait, what? Did you see Snapple replied to my tweet under your video? I did not see that. But I also haven't really been paying attention to the internet for the last couple of weeks because I've been like moving and like setting up my life. So, haven't had much time for that. I'm in a mostly empty office at the moment. Nothing going on here quite yet, but this week it'll slowly start to come together. But for now we're just chilling. I also gotta calibrate my webcam because the webcam I'm using right now sucks a massive amount of dick. That Matt 437 with a tier 1 sub, much appreciated. Sorry for the absence, guys. I've been, you know, it's been a lot. Hey, Chris, did you like local co-op in this? No, because there is no local co-op. Not anymore. Not anymore. They are no longer going through. They are no longer going through with the plans to have co-op, which, you know, that's certainly, you know, I mean, that's a strategy. Sorry, I'm just trying to reorganize the screen in a way that makes sense. Blatantly Alex, welcome. By the way, how do I sound, guys? Let me know. Because this is a new setup. So I'm trying to get myself, I'm trying to get all this stuff sorted. Yo, Chris, are you going to watch Chainsaw Man when it comes out? I don't even know what that is.
How's the new place?
Hey, it's okay. It's not so bad. Sync X. I'm slowly getting everything sorted. What's up, Ren?
How you doing?
Oh, you know, just another day of great news.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
I can hop on some Halo for a little bit.
Yeah, why not? Oh, God. I don't know how they were hyping. You know what's wild too about this whole update that they put out today is that they were hyping it up.
Yeah, that's what I said to Kingston earlier. I was like, they hyped this up.
It's crazy.
Like,
it is.
They spent the time to hype this shit up, and then it was just a complete and utter, like, anal fisting. You know?
It's just so. I was so disappointed because I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was not at all surprising that this was
That's-
how it turned out.
I told Kingston it was like, the kid who has a parent with a substance abuse problem continues to believe that parent is going to be at their soccer game when they have not showed up for a single one.
Yeah. It's just very sad. And I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I tweeted today. I tweeted today about it. And I just, I don't know how this studio has managed to stay around this long. I really don't. And that's not like necessarily me saying like, oh, they should be, everybody who works at 343 should have no job or whatever. It's just a matter of just observing the landscape and just imagining how things would go if I ran a studio like this.
Yeah, anyone else would have been. There's repercussions for doing your job this badly.
Right. Like in most situations, you'd be sacked. Like you just would. Like in most other areas of media or like many studios are shut down for far less. I don't even think we even got a good reason as to why Pandemic got shut down. Zipper Interactive, Sony shut them down because the PSN went down for 3 months, like 2 days after they released their game. That wasn't even their fault. That wasn't even their fault, bro. And they got destroyed. They got wiped off the face of the map. They got wiped off the face of the earth. So much so that people are like wondering whether or not SOCOM will come back still because it just wasn't. It wasn't even their fault, bro. Thank you, BK 1565. So all I'm saying when I'm talking about this stuff isn't like, oh, I want that stuff to happen. It's more just like, how hasn't it if it happened to them? That's where I'm at, where I'm just like, how is it possible?
I'm in the party with you now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I don't know what team doubles, I guess.
Ooh. We're getting intimate in here.
Yeah. It's
right up until we get a fucking CTF game or something.
Yeah. It's just the little things, man. It's so bizarre that they could get the gameplay so right and everything else so wrong. It's crazy. It's such a confusing... I think that's probably the main reason they're still around is because, like, at the heart of every game that they've put out, it's been pretty good. Like, mechanically speaking. Oh, these are solid games. Halo 5 wasn't great. It wasn't great as a Halo game, but it was a pretty damn good video game. And this one's the same. It's kind of a similar situation. Although this one's undoubtedly more Halo, where it's like, they did a really good job with this, except for everything around it. That must be the only reason that, like, I can't think of any other reason as to how a studio with this bad of a track record.
Even the shop this week has been garbage.
Well, the thing with the shop too is like you'd think that when you're the monetization aspect of your live service game is the part of the game that's most important to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, players don't give a shit, but you'd imagine that, like, just from a marketing standpoint, or not even a marketing standpoint, but just like from a dev standpoint, you'd want to get, if you were to get anything right, like cynically speaking, that would be the thing to get right.
Exactly.
Not that it should be that way, by the way, but
no.
Trajectory accurately placed.
Oh, man.
Ammo available.
I don't know. Well, I forgot this was a game. I know. Me too, honestly. Did they update the reticle for the battle rifle, or am I insane?
I don't know. I should be able to tell you once I pick up the battle rifle next.
I feel like I feel there's something about it that feels unfamiliar to me, even though I can't objectively point to what that is. That Fabian with a tier 1 sub. Welcome. Welcome back. It's been a minute. I've been settling in. If the game is this bad, then why play it? Well, no, the game isn't, but that's the problem. That's what's so annoying is that, like, I like the way this game plays a lot. It's just the way they're handling it.
Yeah.
That
Fewer available.
also, the fact that they release it painfully unfinished. You know, that wasn't great.
Yeah, it's a.
Inbound.
It's basically been a early access game this whole time.
Yeah. It's a good one. But, like, I feel like, honestly, if they had just been like, hey, this is an early access game, I don't think a lot of people would have been nearly as upset. But it's the fact that they were like, hey, we gotta delay our game because we gotta make it the best it can be. And then when they hit those dates that they delay to and it's still not even remotely finished, that's that's really frustrating. Because it's like, I don't know. It's really upsetting because I can see the potential. Like, the fact that Forge wasn't a priority is insane to me. Like, I would have delayed this game until Forge was ready at the very least. And now, like, campaign local co-op isn't happening.
Yeah.
When they promised, by the way, they promised that for a long time. And now it's just like, we got to get the live service model up and running. We got to get seasonality. And I'm like, what?
Seasonality.
It's not even a word.
I hate that word. It's like a bad Mortal Kombat finisher.
Yeah, it is a terrible word. But it plays well. Like, it just, oh man, everything else around it just makes me so sad. Because it didn't have to be this way. The thing that confuses me most is why Microsoft isn't, like, throwing all their money at it. Like, to me, it's not even necessarily all 343's fault. Because I understand what they're talking about when they say, like, oh, we have to reallocate resources away from campaign co-op to get the seasonal model working. I understand that, but what I can't understand is why they even have to do that in the first place. Reallocating resources?
Inbound.
You're a Microsoft first party studio.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Why is this such a challenge?
if
with the fucking
Microsoft-
budget and the resources you have.
Yeah, like, reallocating resources, you should be if you need a team to handle split screen co-op, you should hire that team.
Yeah.
You should hire those people. You should be expanding that team to facilitate all of the needs that a live service requires. You shouldn't be like, oh, this is the team. Well, it looks like you don't have enough. People to do campaign split screen. That's a shame. Figure it out. Like, what are you talking about?
I've heard that their dev tools are kind of a nightmare to work with too. So I'm wondering if they just can't get anyone in there to use their janky shit.
Well, you know what I think it is. I think it's because they rely so heavily on contract work that
Yeah.
everybody who contributes to the engine and learns it, and they're not able to renew their contract. It's just like, it's just a really awkward sticking point.
Yeah.
Were these guys even trying? This was a very confusing. What the fuck even happened?
A dude quit early and then a bot loaded in.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah. Not like the remaining human person was really doing well. The bot almost outperformed him, so.
Yeah. Microsoft has enough money to kill the president and not get in trouble. They can afford another. Yeah, I mean, they could. It's so confusing. Like, I just don't know what it is they're doing.
I mean, yeah, but like you're sort of assuming that Microsoft is actually going to put money into it, and they actually.
Well, what I'm saying is they should. I'm not necessarily assuming that they will. I'm just saying that it makes sense for them to care enough to do that. Because it's just a bad look.
Yeah.
They've spent the last like 2-3 games running the series into the ground. At this point, it's like beating a dead horse.
I don't know.
You know?
It's just fucking really confusing.
And the thing is that they're always so non-communicative about everything. They'll come out, they'll put out a roadmap, and then you won't hear from them until one of those dates on the roadmap has basically come and gone. And then they show up and they're like, oh yeah, we had to push that out. Here's the new roadmap that is completely fucking worthless. And you don't hear anything from them along the way. So we don't even know why these are problems. We don't know anything. We just know that every so often they show up and make excuses. You know?
The really awkward thing about it is that you got Bungie over there killing it.
Yeah.
Like murdering right now. They have like mastered the seasonal model for this kind of game. And it's just so strange. Each game launches with issues that they take ages to... yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not even like a 343 exclusive problem. Like, I'm playing Destroy All Humans 2 right now. And it's wonderful. It's a fun little game, but like the technical state it's in, while it's not like disastrous, it's definitely not as good as a PS2 game should be. You know, like there's no reason why Destroy All Humans 2 isn't running at like 120 frames at 4K consistently. With no screen tearing. Like it's really confusing that that game has the problems that it does given what it is.
Did they add like bloom and shit to it?
Well, it's a good looking, yeah, I mean they've added a lot of graphical upgrades to it, but the scope of the game is not insane.
Yeah, but it's normally some like GPU intensive graphical thing that causes stutters and tears.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed it. Like, it's been a while since I've had to deal with screen tearing at all. Like, I just haven't noticed it in most of the games that I play. Or have tried, even, in the last, like, I don't even know. Like, it's been a minute. So to see it again out of nowhere in this PS2 game was just like, very jarring. Destiny is nothing like Halo. I'm saying as a live service first-person shooter. I know it's not really the same thing.
Overshield inbound.
But, I don't know.
Extra sword over here for you.
Oh, nice.
Or did it despawn already?
Oh, despawn,
Jesus.
cool.
Wow.
Whoa, that was a Halo 4 flashback. When all the weapons would despawn immediately.
Shields have been overcharged.
Gotcha, bitch. Get you a
Destiny is obviously like an MMO light RPG. It's a very different game, I understand. But as far as their goals, in the sense of like their goal is to create a live service that is, you know, appealing and consistent and, you know, high quality, their goals are kind of the same. And, I mean, it's pretty clear to me which of the two are doing better.
Position.
Yeah, I'd say they're similar enough where the comparison is a fair one.
Chris, what is your feelings on the mishandling of Halo as a whole? As a whole, it's just confusing. I think I'm just confused as to how someone hasn't lost... Like, the higher-ups at 343 haven't changed since they've been there. And that's what's so confusing to me. Is like, yeah, a lot of smaller people lose their jobs. Chris Lee, who was the creative director, went black because I'm pretty sure he's been blacklisted. I'm pretty sure he just vanished off the face of the earth when he fucking mishandled the IP. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, is it really his fault? Yeah, maybe he had a bad idea, but there should have been somebody above him to tell him what a bad idea that was. Oh, let's make Halo into a what do you call? Into a fucking hero shooter, or let's make Halo into Overwatch. Someone above Chris Lee should have been like,
Overshield.
no. But they weren't. That's what's so confusing. It's not Phil Spencer's fault Because Phil Spencer, because the thing is, like, the thing with Xbox is, like, we could say it's an Xbox problem, and it might be, and I might even be willing to say, like, it probably is, most likely, but this isn't a problem at Turn 10 or Playground. You know what I mean? This isn't a problem at the Coalition. I don't know what's going on. And I feel like I do feel sincerely like people are just too afraid to say it, but I do feel like it's Bonnie Ross's fault. I don't know what to tell you. You know, because
why do you say it's Bonnie Ross?
Because she's been at the head of the studio for fucking ever, and every single time they fire someone, they fire like a creative director or like a creative lead leaves, and they try something else. It still misses the mark, and they haven't gotten rid of the person at the top that's ultimately responsible for all of these failures. And I'm not saying like, oh, you know, it's just so fucking confusing to me how, of all the Xbox first-party studios, 343 is the one that just can't seem to figure it out. Rare struggled for a while, but even they had to hit with Sea of Thieves. The Coalition is doing Gears of War stuff, but Gears of War 2 Gears of War 4 and 5, they're not industry-shattering video games, but they're pretty damn good games. You know, there's a lot to like about Gears 4 and 5. 5 specifically. And fucking, you know, Turn 10 and Playground have been knocking it out of the park with Forza for ages. So all I'm seeing is this one studio that has consistently missed the mark, and despite so many people leaving and coming in and leaving and coming in, it's just been
still the problems.
Yeah, the problems are still there, and it's got to be the fucking person at the top, and I feel like people are maybe a little bit afraid to say that because, and I think it's because she's a woman. Sincerely.
I mean, maybe.
I don't think it's all that, but I feel like I feel like a component of it is definitely that. Because I don't know how you keep your job after this for this long.
Well,
And I know that the industry is like just like noticeably like bad for women. You know what I mean? Like it's just like not a great place. And I don't think Microsoft wants to deal with the PR of firing one of the only female leads in AAA development. I don't think that's something that they want to deal with. I sincerely think that that's probably a strategic reason as to why this has gone on for as long as it has. I don't like thinking that, but I also can't think of another fucking logical reason as to why they would keep somebody in charge when it's been so bad for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's just
if you were working retail and your store continued to just fuck it up, miss all its targets, have a bunch of shit stolen, you know, all that stuff like that, like they would get rid of the manager of that store and bring someone else in. It wouldn't take this long. It wouldn't take like when did Halo 4 come out?
Yeah, I don't know.
It
2012?
Yeah.
I think she's
10
on the
years?
board of Microsoft now. Yeah, that's probably, that doesn't help. That she's probably like unfireable. But I don't know how she got to that point in the first place when she started at 343, and it's just not been, I don't know, man. It's Occam's razor to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I don't know what else to deduce.
I don't know, man. To me, it's like CEOs of different companies have different levels of involvement, you know?
Right.
They have different responsibilities, so it's not really... Maybe she's just the person that is a figurehead and doesn't actually do anything with the company.
Well, then why? Then what is she doing there?
She's just there for press releases, you know, or to work as the watchdog for Microsoft to make sure that everything still is happening.
Except
and
it's,
they're not just-
I mean, I would agree with that, except for the fact that, like, you know, Bonnie is the person who got Joseph Staten on board. So she's clearly making decisions, and she made that decision after whatever the project was following Chris Lee's lead just did not turn out to be what they were expecting. But none of that should have been surprising if they were actually involved in keeping an eye on what Chris Lee was doing. So it's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
maybe
just
you're right.
it's frustrating.
Maybe Bonnie just doesn't really get Halo, and she's just doing whatever.
Well,
You know, like whatever the
Yeah,
focus groups do.
I mean, I don't even necessarily want to blame it all on Bonnie because it's probably a lot of things, right? But I do think that's
Yeah.
like something. Because like I don't know, man. If I was in Bonnie Ross's position and Halo was exactly in the same place that it was, I don't think I would be working there. Like in my heart of hearts, I don't think I would survive the amount of mistakes that 343 has gone through. Look for Chris Lee on Twitter right now. Good luck finding anyone.
Yeah, see, with her being VP of Xbox Game Studios, I doubt she even spends that much time at 343.
Yeah, well she got that promotion relatively recently. She wasn't always head of Xbox Game Studio.
Yeah, I guess she is the founder of 343.
It's just so weird.
They could also
I
be
think the
that she-
biggest I think obviously the biggest problem is that like Microsoft just is not willing to allocate the proper resources to this game. That's obviously the biggest problem. But beyond that, just from a managerial standpoint.
He backed up into that grenade. You see that shit?
I did.
Well, it is really insane because, you know, like, what made Halo at the end of the day was Bungie, similar to how they're making Destiny now and why it's a good game.
Yeah. I don't think any other studio could really make Destiny at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's similar with Halo. It's just really hard to follow up from Bungie.
Yeah, maybe it is harder than we think it is, but at the same time I feel like part of me really feels like it's not that hard. Like I understand, like I know it's easy to say that, and I understand like I don't know how to make a video game, but I feel like I have enough of an eye for what is important in this specific series that like I don't think I would have had a difficult time, at the very least, like making basic decisions about like what this should have been, or what was important. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also, imagine your whole team. Everyone on your team is saying, this is a great idea, we really love it. And you in your head's like, no, this sounds like shit. But, like, are you going to tell everyone else in your entire team that they're wrong and they should fucking fix it and they shouldn't do this thing that they want to do, you know?
Yes.
No, but like...
I understand. See, I understand what you're saying, because in things that I don't care that much about, I would be like, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you know, maybe that is a good idea. You know, like I understand. Like I would also probably in most situations take a back seat to a little bit more of a hearing people out about certain things and be like, oh, maybe that is a good idea. You know, I'd probably be a little bit more receptive. But with this, I feel like with this game, I feel like I know so much about it and I'm confident in that knowledge about it that I don't think I would accept. I mean, obviously, like there's certain things where it's like being able to hold Y to drop weapons. I think that's a great implementation. And like different types of equipment. It wouldn't be like I wouldn't be receptive to new information. But when I heard something like, ooh, a crafting system, I definitely would have been like, no. You know, like that's not what we're doing. Like I think you need somebody there with a vision for what the game is supposed to be. And I feel like if you don't have that, then you kind of get those people who are like, oh yeah, you know, I'll just kind of accept every idea possible. Or I don't want to come across as like a dictator. I want my team to respect me, but I also want them to like me. I understand that because I feel like that's how I would act in a situation where I wasn't making something that I cared a lot about.
The right tool for the job.
But I feel like in this situation, you just get somebody that cares with a vision, and then they're going to be willing to be like, no, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah, but you know, like, even if you care, there are some things where it's like there's a cost benefit, and
Right.
some people might lean one way, one might lean another. You know, like, let's say one of your developers comes up to you and it's like, yo, there's something really fucky with our netcode. We can't make players collide properly. We just can't do it. It'll delay the game by like 6 months. And
Uh-huh.
are you like, release the game on the anniversary without collision, or delay it 6 months? You know?
Right. I mean, I would have delayed the game until Forge
Yeah,
ostensibly
but
was ready.
You have pressures from Microsoft to make it.
That is true,
show
yeah.
more-
Microsoft is definitely to blame on that in that sense, because they definitely are the people who set the dates. They are the people who push for, you know, developers are very rarely willing to even part with the code that they're working on, let alone, you know, set a solid release date. So that's definitely Microsoft's fault. But I don't know, man. I just feel like you just need a guy who knows what he wants the game to be. Because there's a lot of people like God of War is a great example. There were a lot of people on the God of War team who were like, I don't know about this, man. You know? Like, I don't know, giving Kratos a fucking child. Like, I don't know if this is like that honestly, even as you say it, it sounds like a fucking insane idea.
It sounds like a really dumb.
It sounds like
idea.
a fucking stupid idea, and I understand why people would be like, nah, man, that's really fucking dumb. But Corey was there, and he was like, no, I think this is. He was just confident in the ability for that idea to be good, and I feel like 343 doesn't have that, and it's concerning.
Isn't Joseph Staten that guy? It's too early to see his effect. But isn't Joseph Staten the story guy? So it's like.
Yeah, that's
campaign
kind of
already.
that's kind of the thing. It's like Joseph Staten is definitely, without a doubt, has already had a drastically positive impact on the game. I definitely think that's true.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even the stuff that he was talking about, how like in the original campaign, there were no Marines that you couldn't take Marines with you. Like you would rescue the Marines, and then that was it. Like you couldn't take them in a Warthog. You couldn't bring them from place to place. And as I was replaying the campaign on Legendary, I was thinking like, I was noticing that was like some of the most fun that I was having replaying the campaign. Was like bringing a squad of Marines, like giving one guy a sniper, giving two guys like arcane sentinel beams and shit like that.
Oh, those are so fun, man.
Yeah, it was super. It was like a really fun, and it was a part of Halo's like sandbox that I had never really fucked with, really. Like, cause I never really like I didn't give a shit about my Marines at all.
Yeah. Because they just die, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
thanks.
So interacting with the game in that way was genuinely really fun, and to think that this game was in development for 6 years, and then this guy comes in the last year and adds like the most replayable element is just so weird. So there's no doubt that like Joseph Staten is a good hire, and he definitely should be there, and he's making a good impact. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's
when
just
you've
fucking
been making
weird.
Halo for over 10 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how to do it properly.
Please give me a random setting to write about. A random setting. Steampunk VeggieTales.
Cinder shot inbound.
That's mm, is adding VeggieTales continuing to be a setting? You know what I mean?
I think it is.
Because you're predefining the characters. Aren't
No,
you?
not necessarily. I'm just saying like like steampunk with the vibe of VeggieTales. Make a Christian steampunk children's show about talking medieval foods. I don't know. You said random. You didn't give me any guidelines.
I mean, yeah, that does sound like his issue, you know.
Or you know what? Oh man. Oh, I had it for like a second. I had a good idea, but I'm also trying not to lose.
Jeez, you're not doing a good job.
Vegan battle royale.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Figure it out. You're the writer.
Fortnite's already vegan.
Is it?
Yeah.
In what sense?
You don't eat meat. You
That wasn't the
only
idea I
eat-
had, by the way. The good one I lost. I don't know where the fuck it was like something vampire related, but I lost it.
Like, yeah, okay, you cannibalize the banana man. Banana man's still a produce, you know what I mean?
Look, I have no doubt that Halo. Look, yeah, guys, yeah, I have no doubt that Halo Infinite is going to be really cool at some point. But like, I'm tired of that.
Cinder shot.
Like, I'm just kind of sick and tired of that mentality. I'm so tired of being like, oh yeah, it'll turn around, it'll get good eventually. I'm sure it'll happen. It happened with MCC. MCC's fucking great. But it's too much, man. It's too much of this going on.
Enemy there.
I've been watching a lot of like retrospectives of older games, and to me it's like so cool how much effort they used to put into games that they're not doing anymore.
It really is.
I think maybe it was easier back then when you only had programmers, so you didn't need to make like an art asset for a panel. You just had the programmer decide, oh, I want a new panel thing here, and I'm gonna make it myself.
Cuisine Royale. Jesus Christ. I didn't know that.
New month, new coast. How is
Hey.
it going, Chris?
Ghost Raid, what's up? Thanks for the sub. It's going all right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, I mean,
It's actually really-
I'm sure they. I mean, they people work hard on video games still, but there is a different.
It's a different focus, which is the annoying part. It's not like no one's ever made a game before. Let's just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. It's like, oh, there's this formula for this game, and we're gonna find the best monetization model for that formula.
Yeah, it's a lot more cynical. I'm playing older games and it feels sad that these have not been updated in nearly 15 years and play better than most games now. There's a lot of great games still coming out. It's just in a different space. I feel like there was a time where you could genuinely rely on AAA to like offer some genuinely cool experiences, and I feel like that time is kind of not necessarily here anymore. I feel like the second Battlefield shat the bed and they don't even have to worry about a campaign is like, that's wild to me. How do you fuck up Battlefield? Just do what you did before, but it looks nicer and add a thing. That's all that people want out of Battlefield.
How did they fuck up Battlefield?
I don't know. Dude, they didn't even have a scoreboard at launch.
What?
They had to,
Oh, now I
they had to add the scoreboard in. How fucking ludicrous is that?
You know how many dev hours it takes to make a scoreboard?
Probably not a lot.
Like 5?
Probably like 10 minutes.
It is. 2042 isn't bad now. I know,
But that's
that's the problem. If you look at the content that Halo Reach had on launch, it is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It is and by the way, it wasn't. At the time, it wasn't insane. At the time, it was like, oh yeah.
By the standards of the time, it was just, oh yeah, okay, of course this is here because
Yeah,
that's...
well, yeah, of course. What do you mean? Of course we have a full multiplayer suite, a full co-op campaign that works with network co-op, split-screen multiplayer, firefight modes with several different new maps, a Forge mode with a huge open canvas, and like, of course we have. What do you mean? A theater mode that works, a robust custom games suite. Of course we have all this. What do you
Considering
mean?
How, like,
Why
insanely
wouldn't we
popular-
have that?
firefight was for a long time. It's crazy that there is no more firefight mode. You know?
I could see why they might, like, I understand why maybe after a certain point you'd be like, firefights not. But the thing, to me, it's like they replaced firefight with something more time consuming to build, and that was way shittier. Like, Spartan Ops was so garbage.
It was boring.
It was
That's the thing.
it was so fucking remarkably terrible that I still to this day can't even believe it's real.
I actually forgot about it entirely because it was so underwhelming.
Right? Yeah, it's one of the most underwhelming things I've ever seen in anything.
As a concept, it's not bad. You know, like, oh, you're this
The
Spartan team
execution was dreadful.
that's doing stuff in parallel with the plot and kind of after the plot of the game, and it's
No,
like,
but you see, that's
also super boring.
But even the concept, like if you had a guy with a vision on board, the guy on board would have been like, oh, that's a really bad replacement for firefight. A linear combat section that surrounds characters that we don't care about. What? What are you talking about? Like, why wouldn't we, like, if we're gonna do something like this, why not continue the main campaign in story DLCs or something? Because that was around the time that was like becoming a thing. But it's like this weird ambition. Like 343 has this weird ambition where they're really ambitious about stuff that nobody wants. We really want our firefight replacement to be this in-game television show that's really episodic, and that updates every week for the next 10 weeks, and then after that it stops forever and doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Even out of context, that doesn't sound that great, to be honest.
No.
Well, I think weren't they originally planning to just keep it going for a while, and it just
Yeah,
so
well, they
that they stopped.
Well, they were planning on keeping it going for a while, but the problem is, it's like there's no way to keep it going. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, we put AI on a multiplayer map. What? I think the problem is that, like, we kind of saw through that as, like, this is a AAA initiative to do something that, you know, is a little more interesting than a custom game. I don't know, man. That whole thing was really bizarre. And it was such a bad replacement for firefight, too. And even little things like, oh, we should make it so that the flood... Like, we should make it so the flood in Halo 4 look like actual flood. So that way, like, you know, when players play Infection, they look like zombies. It's like, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. Yeah. So we'll make it so they can only carry energy swords. What?
Yeah.
It's just all of these weird decisions that, like, I feel like can only even be made if you don't understand the game you're making. Because that is a fundamental misunderstanding of Infection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Warzone. It's like that was another thing where it was like a decent idea, right? It's like, okay, we want a big team, like a really truly big team battle multiplayer mode. It's like, okay, cool, yeah. So let's build really bland, uninteresting maps, and like with no. I don't know why video games are afraid of like dynamic maps, but like
because as they shoot for increasing realism, they lose interesting level design.
Yeah, I think that's true also. But I don't know, like Warzone was weird. It was like I understood the premise, I understood the idea. It's like I think that was a cool idea. In fact, it's an idea that stems from Halo 2, literally. Like, oh hey, let's make this big like huge big team battle map. Except like, oh, we're gonna put cards in. We're gonna put these monetizable cards. Obviously a Microsoft decision.
Yeah.
But like, what are you doing? It's been misstep after misstep from the get-go. This isn't new, you know? Oh, that was a perfect stick. I can't believe I got that.
Right on the side of the face.
Would you like me to alert authorities?
He had a sword.
Energy source.
There are cards in Halo Wars too. I know. Just feels like 2 steps forward, 5 steps back with 343 every time.
Plasma grenades. Acquired.
And it bums me out because clearly they could make a good video game. What is the consensus on this game? I haven't heard anything about it since the first batch of DLC. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you... I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this game anymore. It plays really, really well. It's a really solid arena shooter if that's what you want. But if you're looking for anything that made old Halo good, aside from, you know, core sandbox design, like if you're looking to be like, hey, let's jump into a custom game or let's build some maps. As of right now, that's not really a thing. There's no firefight. The theater doesn't work. Custom games still don't work. And they're talking about how great Forge is going to be, but they haven't addressed the fact that custom games don't work. How are you going to have a good Forge mode if the system that you're going to use to interact with it doesn't work? I'm pretty sure they haven't even addressed that.
Yeah, you don't even have a custom games browser, so what are you even gonna do with the shit you make in Forge? You know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just very bizarre. It's so content bare. In a way that's just like just fundamentally like unjustifiable. Like I don't know how Microsoft doesn't have the facilities to keep this going. What is it? When does the next season start? March?
Yeah, March. They pushed it out to March, so it's half a year away, which makes season 2 basically a 10-month season.
That is wild.
I know most people have probably finished the Battle Pass. I haven't, but that's because I don't give a shit about anything that's in the Battle Pass, which is a critique in and of itself.
Yeah. By the time, even before, 2 months before Season 3 of Halo Infinite comes out, Destiny will have put out 3 major expansions. Bungie, independently, and that was without Sony, because Sony bought them. That is fucking crazy. And I understand that there's an argument to be made about like how, hey, you know, Destiny fumbled with the seasonal model for a long time before they got it working, and that's true. But that's also an infinitely more complicated game than this.
Yeah, like you have to, deal with classes.
Yeah, there's like classes.
Skill tree balances.
Well, there's classes. It's an RPG. It's an MMO. There's like persistent social spaces. There's an economy. There's all sorts of shit going on in Destiny that's like significantly difficult to develop around. So much so that it's really the only game of its kind that's managed to succeed for as long as it has, outside of hardcore actual MMOs. There aren't really many Destiny-style games that make it. Because I think once people see how big Destiny is and they're like, oh, I want a piece of that, and then they try to make it, they realize how difficult it actually is to do something that well. I don't know.
I guess you're right. I was going to say I can't think of many, but then I'm thinking like Anthem.
Yeah. Anthem. There were a couple that tried, but it's like Battleborn or Lawbreakers. It's like we already have a we already have a Overwatch. Like, we already have that. So everything that tries to do Destiny is just like, oh, well, we already have that. And that's not to say that Destiny isn't like without its problems. I think it's like a massively unapproachable game. Like it's so, for all of its depth and newfound complexity that a lot of veteran players really appreciate and love, that's like a bunch of players that can't really enjoy it because they're so far removed and so far behind. And there's a ton of blunders that even Bungie has done recently where they like sunset paid for expansions and all sorts of things, right? But I think that's what's so weird about it is that even with the, like, bro, Destiny literally took away your paid content. They took away campaigns that you paid for, and they have a sterling reputation.
Put us into the Team Slayer list.
Oh yeah. It's just crazy, man. I'm just waiting for Destiny 3 because 2 has way too much stuff. There's no Destiny 3, man. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not happening.
I don't
I'm
think Destiny 2 was supposed. I think
Yeah.
Activision was really the ones who really wanted a sequel. I think Bungie wanted to continuously iterate on Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Maybe even like phase Destiny 1 into a new engine at some point. I mean, Destiny 2 is basically Destiny 1 at this point. It's got the same customizable classes with a lot more depth to it. It's got like some of the same locations, the moon, the Cosmodrome. Even D1
circled back around.
Yeah. To the point where like I remember like playing Destiny and being like, "Oh man, there's a mission, like a one-off mission that took place on Destiny 1 Mars." And I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. This is like very weird. I haven't been here in so long." Yeah, you'd be playing catch up with Destiny 3 anyway. It's just the nature of these games. It's kind of what makes them cool, though. Like, it's the same reason why it's like, yeah, it'd be really difficult for me to jump into World of Warcraft now. But, like, if you were there from the beginning, it must be a fucking awesome experience. Because you have all of these, like, real-time experiences with, like, how the game changes and stuff. So I know there's value in that. Wouldn't a third Destiny be a good way to introduce new players? Yeah, but I mean, I say Destiny 2 is hard to get into because I feel that way. But, like, I mean, they're getting new players all the time. So, I don't know. It feels unapproachable to me, for sure. And that's somebody who's, like, genuinely, like, and I know a lot of the lore and shit. But it could just be me. I'm also pretty finicky with certain games that I feel like a lot of people are fine with. Like, Deathloop, I could not wrap my head around Deathloop. I just didn't understand it.
Is that the one?
That's the Arcane game with, like, the guy and the girl, and they're killing each other on repeat, and it's, like, 60s inspired, and...
Oh, yeah.
Man, this map is really fun.
Yeah.
What is this, the 8th time we've played on it? What the fuck? Have you played
It's some
Prey
of the-
again? Yes, I have played Prey. I love
The
Prey.
next two maps that 343 even has that they made without Forge are going to be other UNSC bases. So it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
Jesus Christ.
What's
They
the plan?
don't even have a fucking Covenant texture.
Yeah.
Like, what are they fucking doing? Every map is a UNSC base. That sucks. Those aren't even the best maps from classic Halo games.
Yeah. Those were like pretty uncommon, you know.
Yeah, like when I think about like I think about like the
You
only
always
one
had like Covenant stuff or Forerunner stuff.
the only great maps that were Earth oriented in the original Halo games, I think of like High Ground and like the new Mombasa City maps, like things like Turf and Terminal. But Terminal Terminal could have been anywhere. Terminal was cool because of the train.
Having those human maps though was specifically to put them in urban settings, you know.
Right.
They're like, oh, we want to do something urban. Oh, we'll use Earth for that, you know.
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't military bases all the time, so it's like...
Yeah.
I just pulled down a triple to avenge you.
Yeah, I don't know. UNSC bases are so like trite. Like it's like cool, I guess, but it's only cool in the sense that it's new content. It's not actually interesting.
Yeah. Like on its face, it's not.
I mean, the Forerunner stuff was always cool. Like stuff like Waterworks and fucking Valhalla and like all those classic.
Yeah.
I mean, the only great UNSC maps that I can think of, the only great one that's specifically UNSC and not just like Earthling human stuff, is probably fucking, what is it, a Zanzibar or Last Resort? With the big fan?
No, because I wouldn't even say that's a UNSC one necessarily.
No, but it is though, isn't it? In the description? I could be wrong.
I mean, I don't know. It's a windmill, you know?
I
Like,
think
it doesn't scream military.
Ah,
based.
yeah, you might be right. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read those descriptions, but
I think it was some form of military outpost, but at the same time, it wasn't actually like a training ground like Livefire literally is.
there was one in space in Reach. I know what you're talking about, but that was another thing that was interesting because of the zero gravity thing.
Yeah,
Like it's
but
interesting. It's interesting for reasons that have nothing to do with the
It being a
lore
base.
or setting. I don't know how I got out of there alive. That's fucking insane. I gotta get a new fucking webcam.
What happened to your other one? Is it just being shipped or?
No, I just straight up forgot to pack it.
Oh.
Destiny 2 seasonal light level makes it really grindy. That's true, but it's, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, Destiny is a grind game. It's like if you don't like to grind, then you're probably not gonna like that game. Still mind blown that Infection isn't in Infinite. It really is just staggering.
The fact is, Infection doesn't surprise me as much as Assault not being in Infinite. Because Infection didn't come around until late Halo 2. That was like a thing that people made. That was a community game type, you know?
Yeah, it operated on honor rules. I remember playing.
Yeah, that was cool. It's weird that that's not there either.
I mean, Assault's just been there from the beginning. You know, I don't have a particular Assault is my favorite game type or something. It's just it's always been there, and it was always in the rotation, and now it's gone. You know?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird that it's. I mean, how there's so much stuff that used to be there that is not there anymore.
Yeah.
I do think that proposed Spies versus Merc mode is cool. Like I dig it. But that's also because that's just, I mean, they even used the term Spies versus Merc. They literally just ripped it off of Splinter Cell. And that's why it sounds so cool to me. Hey, Kobite, thank you for the gift. Thank you for gifting those fucking tier 1 subs, my guy. Much appreciated. It's just such a crazy situation. There's just so much going on in the industry. And maybe it is a Microsoft problem too, because that Initiative studio is just not looking good either.
In transit.
Which one?
Oh, the Initiative, that studio that's working on the Perfect Dark game.
Oh. What's going on with them?
I don't know. They were announced in 2018, and it's 2022, and we still haven't seen anything. But we do know that Crystal Dynamics was brought in to assist. which is never a great sign. I heard local co-op got canceled. You know if that's true? Yes, it did. No more split-screen co-op. Which statistically probably not a huge deal. Probably not a huge percentage of people would have used it. But it's not a good look.
My kid wants to be playing Halo with her dad, and our only option is basically Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
You know? Which is, fine up to a point.
One thing, all right, well, one thing I feel like I should, because I feel like a lot of people are being a little cheeky. I don't want to necessarily defend 343 here, but I do feel like people are being intentionally obtuse about this. Because everybody's saying that they promised that split screen co-op would be in every future Halo game. And that's not what they said. They said that split screen would be available in every single Halo game. And what they were referring to specifically was the lack of multiplayer split screen in Halo 5, which was a massive, massive deal.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were saying when they were making that promise, they were talking about split screen multiplayer will be in every future Halo game. And to be fair to them, it is in Halo Infinite. You can play Halo Infinite split screen. I feel like people are being a little purposefully obtuse about that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have prioritized campaign co-op, because it definitely should have been. And it should still be in the game. But I don't think that's necessary. I don't view that as them being hypocritical. In the same way that people have been kind of framing it.
Yeah. It's a bit of a bad faith argument.
Yeah, it's slightly. I know what people are talking about. It could be that people read it that way, but I always read that as multiplayer. PvP. First they came for playable elites, but I did not speak up. I feel like that was also like a key, like an early sign that they didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
I
Well, the
mean,
problem
to be
is that
fair,
they've
even
basically moved away from the elites almost entirely. You get one memorable villain who is a elite in the campaign for Infinite, and that's it. Now, granted, he's a very memorable villain as far as what's on offer, but it's I don't find the brutes as interesting, and maybe that's just me, but I feel like
Oh no, the brutes are not as interesting.
okay. So I feel
I think that's widely understood.
Okay.
brutes are monkey,
Return to monk.
while elites are like samurai, pretty much.
They're like a mix of predator and samurai. Just, fine and everything. I mean,
I'm glad there are no playable elites, not gonna lie. See, the thing for me, it's like, I don't necessarily fault them for, if they're really going for, a more competitive game, fucking whatever, fine, that's fine, I get it. But for me, it's more like, I feel like that option should at least be available.
yeah, just have it not be a thing in whatever they're calling their league play,
Well, specifically in custom games, I feel like that should be fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're obviously not prioritized on custom games because custom games doesn't work and it still doesn't. So any decision that would have likely come to have aided custom games or be custom games focused likely wouldn't have been all that important to them.
They want to have this vibrant community like Halo has had in the past, except they want that community to pay for the privilege to be present, And that's just not what Halo was before.
I don't even think that's what it is. I think what it is that It's not even that they want people to pay, because it's like Forge isn't. They're not charging for Forge, which I honestly thought they were going to do.
Well, what I mean is that they emphasized all of the features that would continue to extract money from the community, and sort of left the actual community building features by the wayside.
Right.
But they're still like, oh, but
They
pay
think
us,
they
you
think
know?
it feels to me like they think they're owed that community by
Yeah.
nature of being a Halo game, and not actually putting the work into what the community is built on.
Yeah. Like, you're not gonna get it just because you have your name on the game. You're gonna have to re-earn it, like every game.
I don't like how hyper-focused on competitive 343 are. Yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way when they were in the update today, where they were like, you go back to the original Halos, where like, we're a competitive game, that's our DNA. It's like, I mean... I don't want to necessarily hold it against them, because that's kind of what is it, semantic, I guess, you know, like, because that could mean a lot of things. I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but at the same time, it's like Halo 3 and Halo 2 are the most competitive that franchise has ever been, and they are looked at widely as the most unbalanced and most chaotic sandboxes in the entire series. So, like, I don't know what you mean.
Capturing a zone.
I feel like the focus should be on making the game fun before it's competitive.
Ground vehicle. Delivery. Confirmed.
And I think that's the problem I have with competitive games, is it feels very cynical.
Yeah, it feels like it's designed... It feels like it's designed to be competitive before it's designed to be fun. I feel like that's how I feel about it every time I play one. That's how Halo 5 felt.
Yeah.
Halo 5 was... Sorry, guys.
In enviable position. It's crashed.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
damn.
back. We're back now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys.
En route. The
Was that the game and the stream, or just the stream?
No, that was just OBS. I'm still getting used to... I have to fuck with the bitrate and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it already set up on your computer?
No, it's a new PC.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just using the same graphics card.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were getting a new one.
Yeah, because I need one with better RAM. And I also didn't want to risk shipping my
an ally has
PC.
captured a zone.
I mean, that's fair. But I do think the idea of I needed new RAM, so I got a new motherboard and case and everything else.
Yeah, no, it was more about the travel implications.
Yeah.
Also, you know, having a PC that's stream ready when I'm home is nice.
A team member is capturing a zone. Zone back.
I just think the craziest thing about this whole thing was that, and this is something that I never thought would be true in a million years. But like the most recent Destiny expansion has a better campaign than the most recent Halo game. That is crazy.
That's just the expansion.
Yeah, but it's just so like that was so fucking impossible for so long. Like even as shitty as Halo 5 was, it was still a fucking story.
Yeah.
It was still a functioning single player game with dedicated single player levels and you know what I mean? Like it was the bare minimum. But at the time, like Destiny was nowhere near being even remotely as good as like the worst Halo game. Vanilla Destiny had such a terrible story that people even debate whether or not it was even there in the first place.
Your team is close to total control.
Zone captured.
The fuck?
The enemy
Oh, shock
is
rifle.
capturing a zone.
Your team is close to total control.
25 was 2015 was Halo 5 versus the Taken King. To be fair, well, no, the Taken King was a great expansion, but don't you guys come on? Like, Destiny has never had a good campaign until the Witch Queen. Like, people argue Forsaken was good, but like, I mean, like, Forsaken is good in the context of Destiny. And Taken King was also that. It was like, it had good content, it had a good raid, it had really good changes to the game overall. But like, as a single player campaign, no. Like, there's been no such thing.
It was fine.
I don't know if I agree.
It was definitely, yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with you. It was definitely better in terms of relative to the rest of the game.
Right. It was good for what it did for the rest of the game. And also, like, I mean, it was a decent story, but it was like, what, like 4 hours max? And I think it was like, there's a lot of open world kind of grindy padding, which I guess that game that's what it is. But you play the Witch Queen, and the Witch Queen is just genuinely good from a, like, you could look at the Witch Queen campaign as a fan of classic first-person shooting video games and argue that it's fantastic.
M41 performing in optimal range, and allies claiming a zone.
They made a moldy zombie skeleton relatable.
Captured a zone.
How the fuck do you do that?
Minutes remaining.
ID stand back. The
Clearly, you haven't played Stubbs the Zombie.
Oh, that's true. You're very correct in that I haven't played Stubbs the Zombie.
Team has total control. You got new zones.
Yo, Chris, how you feeling? I'm a little sick. I thought it was COVID again, but it's not. So I don't know. Like, I took like 3 tests to make sure.
What did it end up being?
My problem with I don't know. I just
Zones are ready for capture.
I think I had like a nasal drip that's like kind of like, I have like a cough right now, which was like my main concern. It was like, oh no, I got a cough, I'm dying. But it's probably just some random cough. I don't know.
captured a zone.
Your team
Is the podcast recorded? Yeah, we recorded the podcast earlier today. It should be out soon.
Allies claiming a zone.
Sorry about that, Sweeney. We recorded the podcast last week, but Sweeney didn't record his audio. So, and it was a good episode too. It's really frustrating. But
You've won.
our problem with Destiny is that every level is the same.
Spartan.
In previous expansions that was true, but in the Witch Queen, every single level is its own distinct place. And the few levels, the very few, I think it's like maybe 2 levels that kind of use the open world space in a way that's a lot more liberal. Do it in a way that fundamentally twists your understanding of the world and also has unique encounters that you cannot experience in the open world or in the it's just, the Witch Queen is a really fucking good campaign. Like, outside of the context of Destiny.
I mean, the only part of it I remember seeing is you failing to kill what's her face for like 4 hours or whatever.
What? Oh yeah, the when was I streaming?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that last encounter on Legendary was really rough. It was a very difficult, but it was actually a hard campaign. That was also something that I fucking like. Oh my god, finally. this game is hard. Because Destiny's never been hard. Like, the raids are hard because you have to coordinate, but it's never actually because it's, like, designed in a way that's particularly difficult. It's just... It's like coordinating between 6 people at once to kind of unite to do this very, very common and hyper-specific thing is very difficult.
Yeah, you often have a weak link.
Yeah. And that makes for a good challenge, but that's really the main reason why it's difficult.
Also, this was a while ago, but I did look it up, and Zanzibar is like a civilian, it's like a civil engineering project for powering the local thing that just got taken over by the military later on.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
Also, what was it? The text when you hit the button apparently says a total FU exception has occurred at your location.
Wait, what happened?
Like when you put down the gate
Yeah.
in Halo 2 or Halo 3, I'm not sure. It apparently the text says a total FU exception has occurred at your location,
That's fun.
which pretty funny.
There was a lot of
If the
fun.
system does not restart, scream at the top of lungs and pound on keyboard.
You should be playing The Last of Us remake instead. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I'm
That's
gonna
out
play
today.
Last of Us again with slightly different graphics.
It is a way better looking game. I understand, but I didn't love The Last of Us. Like, I thought it was a really solid story.
Yeah, I thought it was a great game at the time, and I have absolutely no understanding as to why this game has been remade. Like, you could just leave it alone, but they want to bring it in line with The Last of Us
Bring your base to
2's look and aesthetic. And I just think that'd be like if, for whatever reason, they went back to Halo 1 and they were like, oh, we're going to change everything so that it looks like Halo 4.
Oh,
know?
that would be crazy if they did that. That would be. I can't even imagine a scenario in which they would do something like that.
Like, it's wholly unnecessary to begin with. Like, it doesn't need to be done.
The joke there for anybody in the chat that didn't notice is that they literally did that exact thing. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary is a remake of the first game, or a visual overhaul of the first game where they used Reach assets, but Reach assets were not designed for Halo 1's rigging, so it just looks horrible. Like, the grass looks like Reach, even though it's supposed to look like a Halo ring. It's all fucking gross. The Halo Reach elites are really bulky in comparison. So, like, the slender forms of the Halo CE elites look... It is such a gross-looking game. Halo 2 Anniversary is so beautiful in comparison. It's wild. Although even that game kind of misses the mark sometimes. Not as much by even any stretch of the imagination, but...
Initiating breach. Hack successful. Data secured.
The best thing that 343 has done is Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
How insane is that? CEA was our first warning of 343's misunderstanding. Well, I don't know. Like, the first go, fair enough. I don't think they should have done what they did with it, but, like, they were a far smaller studio. So I give them a pass. How did you die there? I just didn't really care. I was thinking
Yeah,
about I was thinking about what I was trying to say more than I was thinking about how to survive.
Also, this is not generally your favorite game type.
No, I stockpile is it was cute the first time. But
Closer.
I remember you hyped it up the first couple of times you played it.
yeah, because I was under the assumption that there would be cool custom maps that I could be playing that involved these mechanics in some way. Especially by now.
But it's basically just the two.
Yeah, it's
Two
just
maps.
It's just the same exact maps that they've always been. And
Repulsor.
just not all that interesting, personally. Did they make Combat Evolved map packs for Reach? Yes, they did. I think that was Certain Affinity though, or Saber Interactive. One of those two.
Your team needs
I think one of those is owned by THQ Nordic now. I do want to finish Destroy All Humans 2 today though.
power seed stockpile incoming.
Do you put pickles in the fridge or the pantry or the
If it isn't
cupboard?
Mr. Worldwide.
Fridge.
How's the new place feeling?
I mean,
Hey, Ori.
if the jar has been opened, fridge. If it hasn't been opened, it can be in a pantry or cupboard.
Ready to
I don't eat pickles, so I don't. I've never even had to come face to face with this problem.
I mean, also, if you're not eating the pickles quickly enough, then it doesn't really matter where you put them.
That's true. I put olives in my fridge if that's any consolation. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's anything. I don't know if that's close or similar.
If it makes you feel
Yeah,
better,
that's pretty
you just
similar.
Vehicle en route.
I would say that's pretty similar.
Yeah, they are both soft things and juice, I guess.
Soft things and juice. Are you going to watch Rings of Power, Chris? No, because I don't love Lord of the Rings. I think it's fine, but I'm not invested enough to actually watch anything that's based on it. Like I still haven't seen the fucking Hobbit. Because I'm like, I read that book.
Yeah.
You actually read the book?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about it because I didn't care that much, but
The Hobbit was a very accessible version of Lord of the Rings, so
yeah. Yeah, and I remember it being totally fine.
The enemy has
yeah.
loaded a power seed.
Your team has reached half power.
You don't need to see The Hobbit? Yeah. Way ahead of you. Dune 2016's multiplayer by Certain Affinity showed more promise than anything before. Well, I don't know about that. Doom 2016's multiplayer wasn't shit the bed terrible,
This model is
but I would argue Infinite's default suite of multiplayer. I would argue Infinite's default multiplayer sandbox is significantly more interesting.
exclamatory excitement.
Your team
The thing that I get out of this game that I can't get out of other first-person shooters is just the sheer verticality and just like the weird ways that you can outplay your opponent. Like even still,
Yeah.
with all the fucky bullshit that they don't get right. Like I'll never Spider-Man underneath a map. Did you see that clip that I recorded, Eyeblind?
Oh, yeah.
There's
That was hilarious.
I can't do that in other video. Somebody can't jump off a map, grapple hook back onto it, and then I can grapple hook onto them when they're under the map, beat them to death, and then Spider-Man back on.
We are one.
It's things like that that are like really fun, and it's why I keep playing. It's why I don't have a problem playing still. The way that they curate their playlists is incredibly frustrating to me. I don't know why Team Snipers doesn't guarantee that you have a sniper rifle. That's
It's
a
very silly.
it's a very stupid thing to do.
Ground vehicle en route.
Did you watch Spider-Man No Way Home? More fun stuff? No. Is there anything new in it that's really noticeable or worth seeing? Probably just Google the scenes on fucking. They're probably on TikTok at this point. That's how I saw the first movie.
What?
After I saw Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters, I went on TikTok because I wanted to see those scenes again, and they were all there. Like, that whole movie was available on TikTok in, like, a segmented form. Why are you playing in the public library and not on your in your gamer cave? I don't have my my office set up exactly. Not yet. I'm getting artwork very soon and little things like that. But the lore for Halo will never not be interesting. Oh, I don't know. I fell off it a long time ago. I
think it's pretty interesting, but I think it gets kind of like... It's weird to see lore get power creep like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's...
It was very cool at a certain point in time. And since then, I've just kind of fallen off it. I think that... I still think the things that I thought were interesting are still interesting. But I just don't like where they've gone, generally speaking, with a lot of it. I don't like... even just simple things like what they did in Halo 4 story-wise. Like, Halo 4 story was so confusing because Master Chief evolves, and then the Didact dies off screen, but then he survives off screen, but then he gets killed off screen again in a comic book. But then he's not dead, but then for all intents and purposes, he is, because he hasn't shown back up in 10 years. And him returning would feel more stupid and out of place than it would interesting and you know, like it would feel more like a 343 finally got around to this than it would oh, finally this natural evolution of the story is taking place. Like, there's really no way for the Didact to return. I thought what was going to happen was... And I can't remember if this is exactly what I thought was going to happen because there's been so many different changes in the lore since then and so many different changes in Halo's story since then. But I remember I thought what was going to happen was, I think in Halo Infinite, was Cortana was going to be evil. You know, that was kind of established. And because according to the Halo lore, the Didact got digitized. He got composed. That's how he was killed in the comic. After he was fake killed in the game. Fucking so stupid.
Yeah.
I thought what was going to happen was that Cortana was going to be the main bad guy, and the Didact was going to be your new AI in some way. Like, it was going to be like a... kind of like a Master Chief and Cortana situation, except Cortana hated Master Chief, and Master Chief hated Cortana, but they needed each other to... Like, the Didact wanted to enact revenge on Cortana, or he wanted to, like, take her out. And Master Chief wanted to find Cortana to rescue him, so they would, like, begrudgingly help each other up to a certain point. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen.
That would have been good.
Yeah, like Portal 2.
Yeah. Or at least that's what I thought would have made... Like, I don't like the Didact as a character, really, because he's just like a fucking Shakespearean soliloquy box. But if they really wanted to do something with the Didact, that's what I thought they were going to do. And it would have been, I think, a very natural way to do that, in a way that would have made Cortana's introduction as a villain make sense for the greater theme.
Yeah, it's a good pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of a fun idea. It would have been more interesting than what the fuck we got, that's for sure. Jesus Christ. Halo 5 was fucking terrible. But, I don't know. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't have had the Didact in the game at all. I'm waiting on what they do with the Spirit of Fire. Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting any resolution to that. I can't even fucking fathom how they would even go. But I'm pretty sure 343 forgot about it. Yeah. I know Ozymandias is generally regarded as the best episode of Breaking Bad, but I personally love Crawl Space. Crawl Space is a great one. I like Face Off. I think Face Off is the best one. The season 4 finale of Breaking Bad is one of the best things I've ever seen. What the fuck is The Endless and why should I care? Yeah, same. Big same.
Big same.
I got a Destiny 2 question for you. If I want to start raiding with friends, but I don't know if I have to complete quest lines from expansions to play and get gear. No. You can just jump into the raid and you know, I think...
It's more a light level issue.
Yeah, it's more a light level. You have to grind to a certain light level before you're even allowed to do it. But I think, generally speaking, you don't need to do specific quest lines. Like, you could just grind PvP if that's what you want to do, and get to the light level that you need to do the raid. But I'm pretty sure that's all you have to do. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've raided, and I also play all of the content, so. I play all the content except for the raids, actually, because I never have enough people on. Yeah.
How many people do you need for a raid?
You need 5 other people. You need 6 people total for a team. And, you know, when you're fucking...
Out to seize the enemy.
When you're an adult, it's difficult to get any...
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get that many adults free at any given moment for that long of a... Because raids are long. Like, it could be anything from 20 minutes to 6 hours to even longer. So, like, it's a massive commitment that a lot of people can't really make. I mean, I say that, but even I'm not really that available. Been trying to talk Ran into doing D2 with me for about 15 years now. That would be massively impressive. on account of the temporal impossibility of that.
What do you want? He's a Vex, you know?
He's a Vex. It bothers me how much I genuinely like the Destiny 2 story now. Like, it's kind of infuriating that they
I'm
managed.
still convinced you're lying, to be honest.
I mean, I understand that. But it really is genuinely great. I only have one person to play Destiny 2 with, and he's an actual racist. Well, there's no better game to play with an actual racist than Destiny, a game that is all about destroying other races.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is the same way. He only plays with Sween.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's homophobic shit. I messed up my,
Homophobes are a race?
I messed up my shitlordisms, I guess.
Yeah.
What would be the phrase?
Last Destiny 2 question. Is it worth it to play expansion missions like Witch Queen with randoms or solo them? You can do... This is what I'm talking about when I say the Witch Queen was really good. You can play the Witch Queen by yourself, and it's a great time. It's actually, I would argue, better. If you play the Witch Queen Legendary by yourself, it's a great time.
Neighborhood watch in effect.
Because it's just fucking well-designed. It's difficult. And there's a lot of really cool story stuff that you might miss if you're kind of chatting with people. It's obviously harder, but even then it scales difficulty to the amount of people. So even then, I'm not even really sure if it actually is all that much harder.
I think people rarely play co-op games with, like, the intent of, sort of enjoying the experience. They normally play co-op to fuck around.
Bro, what the fuck did I just do? Sorry, I didn't expect that to work.
Wow, okay, wow, that was kind of insane.
That should not have worked. That was nutty. What were you saying?
People don't normally play campaign to experience it. They play it to fuck around.
Yeah, I guess so. I could be different. I do play single player games
No,
generally.
I mean co-op specifically.
Oh, co-op, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it always confused me that people say they always wait for their first playthrough of Halo to be a co-op one. Like, I don't even understand how you would do that.
I think it just depends on what kind of friends you have, to be honest.
I guess. I don't know. I have to play the game at least 14 times before I play a co-op because I don't like people talking over shit.
Confirmed.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're both playing a game for the first time, you should both be paying attention to the cutscenes enough not for no one to be talking over.
Yeah, if you were doing it with someone else who was also first time, that might be fine.
Well, yeah.
But I think the problem is that most of Chris's friends tend to talk, even in.
Yeah, I have very loud friends.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Hey, there we go.
Need to apply for
Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Oh, I heard you calling my name. Ugh,
How's it going, Wish?
it's good. I just got myself a Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What are you playing on it?
So, I've got a couple games actually. Right now I'm playing Link's Awakening.
Nice.
What else I got?
That's a great one.
It is. It was that was my first game when I first got a Nintendo, not a Nintendo, a Game Boy Pocket for Christmas, or like, centuries ago.
Yeah.
And there's my first Zelda game, and I loved it. So when they came out with the remake, I really felt the need to pick it up again. But I got that. I got Windbound, Mega Man X. There's a Legacy Collection. I got the second one. I don't have the first one. And then I got Star Wars Republic Commando.
Oh. Star Wars Republic Commando. That's the one that was the creative director of that was the creative director of Halo 5.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's why Halo 5 has squad mechanics.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Just full of interesting little factoids.
Look at you.
That's a good haul. I love Link's Awakening. I never finished it, but I played that game for like a really long time.
Yeah.
And it was a very charming, I really love the style they went with it.
I do too. I'm really impressed with this remake, and the one thing I absolutely adore that I can't get over is like the micro focus, where there's like the focus to make it look like everything is tiny, like miniature.
The micro focus? Oh yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not actually exactly sure what it's called. Macro focus or something like that.
You all right? You sound a little sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You're
sniffling.
sniffling.
I don't know why. I feel fine, but it was a long day at work, and I was grinding up above my head with a grinder, and I don't know how to say this without you guys thinking that I was like at a dance club, but like I was grinding metal,
Uh-huh.
and it have a whole bunch of metal dust up my nose, so I had to like clean it out.
You were grinding up in the club. You got too much dust in your nose. Shit.
I'm sorry, by the way, that I know there was somebody who donated and their thing kind of went away before I could see it. If you could type your thing into the chat, I'll just read it again. Just at me. It's a new, like, I'm still working with this new PC and like getting everything set up to the way it usually is. So my apologies for any slight what do you call hiccups. How's the new setup treating you? It's okay for right now. I mean, it's slowly coming together.
Did you purchase a new PC or did you build one?
I bought it, but I like it was like a custom build.
Okay.
So, yeah, I got pretty much most of it. picked and built, but like I just bought it without a graphics card, and I took my old one because it's a good graphics card, and the graphics card is like the most expensive fucking part of the computer for some fucking reason. But it's a pretty good one. It's pretty good. It says I got 64 gigs of RAM,
Oh, that's amazing.
which is really nice.
That's way too much, Chris. What are you gonna do with all those gigs of RAM?
Well, because I'm learning Blender and After Effects, and I feel like the main reason I haven't really bothered with either of those things is because my computer has never been good enough to run them reliably. Like every time I try to fuck with After Effects, it chugs like a bitch. But now, like I've been fucking around with it. Like I was fucking around with it earlier today, and it runs like a fucking dream.
Well, yeah, with leg room.
Well,
Holy cow, 64 gigs. Nobody needs that much space, man.
well, to be fair,
RAM.
Photoshop was chugging on my old machine, and that was 16 gigs, and that is, it's not a ton, but it's still. Photoshop shouldn't chug with 16 gigs of RAM.
No,
To
it
be
shouldn't.
fair,
I had to upgrade mine to stop.
It's like it is mainly Adobe's fault for like really poorly optimizing, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to future-proof my machine as much as possible. I'm sure eventually I'll have to upgrade it again, but like for now, I feel like I'm pretty set for the next few years.
I mean, yeah.
Which is nice. Hey, no gamers here. I was the donator, and here's the question, Chris. Chris, have you seen the David Lynch show Twin Peaks? It's often listed as being among the greatest TV shows of all time, although I've only seen the first 90-minute long episode. I'm enjoying it so far. I've actually only seen the first episode a long time ago. I don't remember the context. I feel like it was with a girl that I was seeing. It was very long ago. But I never watched it after that because I was very confused by it. And I feel like that's how most people come away from Twin Peaks. Not in a bad way, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm in the right headspace to absorb this information in a way that I would accept it. It's like when you're playing a game that you know is good, but you're not feeling it, and you're like, you know what? Maybe now's not the right time.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Prey. I remember playing Prey for the first time and being like, this is kind of shit. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, I remember Prey was on my shit list of video games, and I visited it a couple years later, and it became like one of my favorite. Like, it is one of the best video games I've ever seen.
Wow. That's high praise.
It is. It's incredible. It is unlike so much of what's available right now, but at the same time, it's so. What is it? It's so freeing, because it's based around System Shock and like those kind of immersive sims. So like, you really get to know the space, and there's so much that shouldn't work but does. And it's just a really fun world to fuck around in. Also has a great soundtrack by Mick Gordon, so that's another fun little positive. Since you didn't respond to my question about the beat 'em up game Colin talks about, I choose to believe it's happening, and Lily Mo has you under NDA. I have no idea what Lily Mo is working on. I have no idea. Chris, have you played Metroid Prime? I have. I haven't beaten it. I don't beat very many video games, to be honest. I find many games are too long for their own good.
Yeah.
Or they just they don't respect my time in the way that I wish they did.
Yeah.
Gotta fill it up with all those extra side quests, man.
Yeah.
All those fetch quests.
Well, I think that's one reason people play the side quests more than the main story.
Yeah, I think you might have a point.
I think it's because they're just bite-sized stories that you just used to. Like you can consume a side quest pretty quickly and feel like accomplished without feeling like, oh, I have to play this game for another 6 hours.
Yeah.
Puncture
I
proficiency.
kind of
Increase.
dropped off of Elden Ring for that reason because I was like, I can't be bothered with this right now. It's too much work for what's going to happen.
Yeah. Elden Ring is a wonderfully designed video game, but it is also incredibly... Like, I didn't finish it either. Like, I kind of was like, this is amazing, and I've also experienced about as much of it as I'm willing to.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I got what I want out of it. I feel like if I stayed with it any longer, I would probably not like it as much. But... How many times have you beaten Bioshock Infinite? Okay, too many times. More times than is acceptable, I'll admit, okay? I was enamored with that game for a very, very long time.
I don't blame you. I loved it too.
Yeah. And I played it a little bit again recently. Not fully, but just to see if I was remembering it incorrectly. And I was not. It's very cool. It's a very cool video game. The issue with Bioshock Infinite is that it's not very... I mean, I say this ironically as somebody who's replayed it a bunch of times, but it's not very replayable in the way that a lot of other games are. Like, unless you're really grabbed by it, there's not a lot of... it's not as dynamic as I feel like maybe people wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that story is just so interestingly presented to the point where, like, I was just really, really enamored by it. How did you feel about Burial at Sea? I thought Burial at Sea was wonderful. I thought it was awesome. It's just one of those games where it's like you play it, you beat it, and you sit with it, and it's like, wow, that was really cool, and then you never touch it again. It's kind of like, it's a little bit like The Last of Us in that way, where it's like, yeah, that was. I don't know if I'll ever experience anything quite like that ever again. But I don't know if I would even experience that again playing the game again. Yeah, I don't know what the situation is.
We've lost a teammate.
Feet now as compensation. Oh, joy.
Yeah, like I have right now like 528 up. Or 528 down. And 18 up. So it's so weird. I feel like that should be sufficient, it feels like. You know what I mean?
Sea of Thieves group stream when?
I would love to do that.
Oh, yes.
It's been a while since I've done that. Stream. Let me see. Is there anything I can do about this? Why is my bitrate like that?
Well, it affects Discord as well, so it's not in OBS or streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have to call him.
Yeah, and then they'll say, "Oh, we're working on stuff at your area," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then they never
Power
fix it.
items.
Well, I could just go to a different one.
Yeah, but it could just be that you've got an area with bad coverage in general with internet.
Your power items are
Maybe.
ready for pickup.
That would be unfortunate.
Keep your head down.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with this for a bit.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I missed the tactical screen nuke.
Hey, Steel Coffin 69, thank you.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves group stream would be fun as fuck.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we gave up on Deep Rock Galactic very quick.
What do you mean?
No. Good.
We stopped playing it.
When? What do you mean?
Deep Rock Galactic.
When did we stop playing that?
When have you guys been playing that?
I just got my PC today.
Yeah, exactly. We played it months ago.
No, we didn't. I played it like a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's a long time still.
It's not a long time when you consider I didn't have a way to play it for weeks.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're fucking out of your mind, man.
I'm not convinced, is all I'm saying. This sounds like a rational deception to me.
I don't know, man.
A campaign expansion to Infinite?
No, there will never be a campaign expansion for this fucking game. I don't even know what they could add to this game that would even make it worth going back to. Campaign-wise, like I don't.
Maybe a different part of the ring with a different fucking biome.
Whoa, can you imagine?
Wouldn't that
That'd
be
really weird.
wild?
I don't know.
What a weird direction to take this franchise in, huh?
Imagine snow in Halo. What could that look like?
What would that even? How would you
There
even
isn't
do
any
that?
snow in space, Chris, you idiot.
There isn't any snow.
You sound insane right now.
That's fucked up. There isn't any snow in space.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're so right is the thing.
So correct.
You're so right. Properties. Let's name this. Let's rename Halo Infinite. And then let's go ahead and add another game capture. Destiny. No. Specific window. Window, Destiny 2. Why is that not working? What?
What are you saying?
I don't know. It should be capturing the Destiny window, but it's not.
Have you tried making it capture the Destiny window?
I've tried. I don't know why it's not working.
I guess you might just have weird configuration issues. You just don't
Yeah.
remember doing from earlier.
That's usually what happens. I'm gonna have to like maybe go into the settings and fuck with the window. Because I don't think it's showing up right now.
I didn't see anything last time I looked at the stream.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the options menu to pop up. Open settings, video. Oh, there we go. Windowed. Apply changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and. Wow, that's fucking weird. Apply changes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, game capture, Destiny. What the fuck is going on? Does it just not want to do that, I guess? Man,
We
it's
tried launching Destiny in like windowed full screen.
I don't know, man. What the fuck? Window capture, I guess? Capture method. What is happening? This is so weird that I can't fucking capture this.
So you can't capture your whole screen and just like not be game specific.
I don't know. Well, no, because I'm on a ultra wide.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't work very well.
But I wasn't having a problem with it before. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean if Halo works.
Yeah. What?
Eh? What? What are you talking about?
Man, nothing ever just works.
No, man.
It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, tweaking like technology, electronics, any of that shit, it always irritates me. Like I go from like 0 to 60 immediately.
That's because you're probably in a car.
Oh shit, you're right. That's why. That's why.
Video.
All this time, I'm really glad you were here.
Windowed full screen, maybe? Like,
That's what I'm here for.
does that do anything?
Worst case is when you have a Tesla, you know?
The worst case.
Yeah.
This is just fucking weird.
980 rupees? That's insane.
Capture cursor. Capture third-party overlays. What is happening?
Can buy bombs for a single rupee.
Hook rate? What?
Hook rate, you better ask Whiskey about that. You know?
Yeah, it's at the rate at which you hook.
This is so fucking bizarre.
The rate at which you hook.
Why was Halo Infinite working?
Because it don't have snow in space.
Yeah, don't you know snow really fucks up video compression?
I guess that is literally true. Do I just go full screen? Does that show up? What the fuck is going on? No, fuck you and your auto HDR. This is the Destiny music playing?
Hold on, let me- Yeah, it's definitely playing.
What is that's so fucking bizarre. That makes even less sense.
It could be the rendering technique if it's using like OpenGL as opposed to Vulkan as opposed to DirectX.
I mean I guess.
I'm actually pretty tired, so I think I'm gonna go crash like a Kennedy.
Yeah, I think I might just end the stream because I just don't know. I'm at a fucking loss.
Yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow, or whenever.
All right.
No
Yeah.
pressure.
Sorry guys. I have no fucking. It should be working. I did what I always do. And it just didn't work. I don't know what's wrong. So I guess This is why you don't add snow to a game.
That's right. Very valid
Three,
conclusion.
343 was ahead of the curve with this one. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll just end it. I'll pop you off over to somebody. I don't know. Who's on right now? Oh, not really anybody. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it. Hopefully, we'll get all this shit sorted by the next time. So I'll catch you guys. Peace.
How are you gonna catch them?
What?
Are they running away?
Who's gonna what?
Why are you gonna catch them? Are they running away?
Don't be this way.